My name is Miss Linda, and I'm one of the kids programmers here at the Nixon Library in Jacksonville. Today, we have a pretty special story time because it's August, and in August, in a couple weeks, school is going to start. Now, some of you are going to go to preschool, and some of you might be starting kindergarten, and it can be kind of scary going to school, especially if it's the first time. So today we're going to read a book about going to preschool and a book about going to big kids school. Now, before we get started, we have a sign that we are going to learn. Are you ready? Great. Let's warm up our hands. So take your fingers, give them a little wiggly diggly, stretch them out, big, little, big, little. Big little. Nice. Now, the first sign we're going to learn today is school. I know, it's exciting. School is a place where you might be headed to later in the month. So, for school, you need both of your hands. In one hand, you're going to lay flat like this. In the other hand, you're going to like that. And that's school. School. Do you want to do the sign for school with me? Great. So, let's get one hand like this, another hand like that. School. School. Awesome. Now, the first book we're going to read is about going to preschool. And some of you might be going to preschool soon, and some of you might already be in preschool. So this book is called Rosie Goes to Preschool by Katz. Oh, nice. I think this might be Rosie. Let's find out. Hi, I'm Rosie. Oh, I was right. Welcome to preschool. Come on in. Let's see what preschool is about, guys. Whoa. Neat. Here's my cubby. This is where I put my stuff. Oh. So, some preschools have little cubbies with names on top of them. And when you go in, you put your stuff in your cubby. Neat. Oh, look down here. It's a Rosie tip. Rosie is giving us tips for preschool. This Rosie tip right here says, I like to bring my favorite toy from home. I keep Mr. Ted in my cubby and get him out for nap time. Ooh, preschools have nap time. I love that. I say goodbye to Daddy. Bye, Dad. Oh, there's another Rosie tip right here. This one says, just kiss, hug, and wave bye-bye. Your grown-up will be back soon. It can be sad when you have to say bye to your grown-up when you get dropped off at school or preschool, but it's going to be okay. You'll see them at the end of the day. I say hello to Miss Lena. Oh, that's Miss Lena. She must be the teacher. Very nice. Time to play. Jack and I do a puzzle. Oh, right here. And there's so many different things that you can play. You can play kitchen, or with a doll, or you can read a book, or play with trains, or play dress up. Oh, look, here's a Rosie tip. At playtime, you can play by yourself or with a friend. Oh, that's great. I love that. When everybody is here, school starts. First, it's circle time. Crisscross applesauce. Oh, nice. We say our names, sing a song, and listen to a story. Cool. So at the beginning, when preschool starts, they all sit crisscross applesauce and they say our names, and then they get to hear a story. That's awesome. Oh, here's a Rosie tip. Don't forget to raise your hand if you want to talk. Oh, that's important, because at school, you can't just talk all the time. When you're in class, you have to raise your hand so you can talk to the whole class. Here are all the things we're doing today. Well, that's a busy schedule. We've got free play, which we saw, circle time, which we saw, and then looks like there's art, music, lunch, recess, nap, story, and pickup. Whew, that's a lot to do. Oh, and this is our job chart. Yay, I'm lunch helper. Nice. So sometimes if you go to preschool, you can get a little job to do. Things like fish feeder, or weather watcher, or playground helper, or recycler, or door holder, or line leader, or lunch helper, which is what Rosie's doing, or caboose. These are all very important jobs in preschool. Oh, another Rosie tip. Don't worry if you don't get the job you want. Everybody gets a turn to do each one. That means everybody has an opportunity to have a job. Nice. I put on my smock. It's time for art. Today we are using clay. I'm going to make a pot for Daddy. Lily is making a turtle. Jack isn't sure what to make yet. I wonder what Jack will make. Clean up, everybody do your share, Miss Lena sings, and we know it's time to put away our clay. Cool. So everybody cleans up at preschool. Oh, here's a Rosie tip. When everybody works together, cleanup gets faster. So if everybody cleans up and does their part, it goes by faster and you can move to the next thing. Potty time. Everybody gets a turn. And here is a Rosie tip. Remember to use soap and water and dry your hands. Now, you should always wash your hands after you use the potty. When we are back in the classroom, Mr. Lombardo visits. He strums his guitar. Everyone together now, he says, and we all make music. Nice. So Mr. Lombardo has a guitar, and this person has a little trumpet thing, and Rosie has cymbals. Cool. Lunchtime! I am so hungry, but first I help Miss Lena put out placemats for everybody. Then I get my lunchbox from my cubby and sit between Jack and Lily. Nice. So Rosie is doing her job today by putting placemats out for her and her classmates. Oh, here's a Rosie tip. Ask your teacher for help if you can't open your lunchbox or if you spill your drink. Now, if you encounter something difficult in preschool or school, you can always ask your teacher or another adult for help. Hooray! Recess is my favorite time of day. Oh, recess is when you go outside and play on the school playground for a little bit. It's a lot of fun. Ooh, this is my favorite part of the day. Nap time. But I'm not even a bit tired. here's a Rosie tip. Even if you aren't tired, you need to lie still, close your eyes, and be quiet during nap time. Because if you're loud during nap time, you might wake your classmates up. I hear Miss Lena say, "Wake up, sleepyheads." Big yawn, big stretch. We have time for one more book before we go home. Oh, here's Daddy. I pack my backpack and say, "See you tomorrow, everybody." Oh, and here's a Rosie tip. Make sure to say goodbye to your teacher. That is a good tip. See you tomorrow, too. Bye, Rosie. Oh, that was a great book. Rosie showed us all the different things that go on at preschool, from being dropped off and having circle time, to being assigned a job to do, to lunch, to recess, and to finally going home at the end of the day. That was pretty cool. Hey, I think we have another sign to learn. Yeah, so we learned school, 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 but let's learn the sign for class. When you go to school, you get assigned to a class and a teacher. Do you want to learn the sign for class with me? Great. So, for class, you need 2 hands. And you make little C's like this. Yep. And you go, class. Class. Let's do the sign for class together. Are you ready? Great. Class. Class. So, we have school, school, and we have class. 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 Awesome. I have another book for us. And this one, Pete the Cat. Yay! I love Pete the Cat. Pete the Cat rocking in my school shoes. Art by James Dean, story by Eric Litwin. Let's see what Pete the Cat is doing at school. Here comes Pete, strolling down the street, rocking red shoes on his 4 furry feet. Pete is going to school and he sings this song. I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm rocking in my school shoes. It's a good song. It's class with a teacher. Pete is sitting at his desk when his teacher says, "Come on, Pete, down the hall to a room with books on every wall." Where is Pete going? A room with books on every wall. Let's find out. The library! Schools have libraries in them. Did you know that? It's pretty cool. Pete has never been to the library before. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no. He finds his favorite book and sings this song. I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. Very cool. Check out Pete. He's ready to eat in a big noisy room with tables and seats. Where is Pete? a big noisy room with tables and seats where you go to eat. Let's find out. The lunchroom, of course. Schools have lunchrooms. They're also called cafeterias. And you go there to eat. Huh. It can be loud and busy in the lunchroom. Does Pete worry? Goodness no. He sits down with his friends and sings his song. I'm eating in my school shoes. I'm eating in my school shoes. I'm eating in my school shoes. Very nice. Pete and his friends are playing outside on a green grassy field with swings and slides. Where is Pete? Playing outside with swings and slides. Let's find out. The playground. Kids are running in every direction. Does Pete worry? Goodness no. He slides and swings and sings his song. I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes. Wow. All day long, Pete sings his song. I'm singing in my school shoes. Down here, he's painting. He sings, I'm painting in my school shoes. And up here, he's doing some math. I'm adding in my school shoes. Down here, he's writing C-A-T, cat. I'm writing in my school shoes. Man, he's doing a lot in his school shoes today. When school is done, Pete rides the bus home. Sometimes you might have to ride the bus home from school and to get picked up to go to school. That's okay. Buses are cool. Pete's mom asks him, "What did you do at school today?" And Pete says, "I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. And I will do it again tomorrow." Because it's all good. It is all good, Pete. Whoop. There he goes, getting picked up to go to school. The end. Wow. So this time, Pete the cat took us to big kids school. It's kind of like preschool, except you'll learn a lot more stuff. And there are other books about preschool and school that you can check out at the library as well. So you can look at books like Natasha Wing's The Night Before Preschool, if you need help getting ready to go to preschool. And if you need help getting along in kindergarten, we have a book by DJ Steinberg called How to Be Kind in Kindergarten. And all of these books are really great because sometimes when things are scary and you get a little nervous, you just need a good book to sit down and read to help you get through it. Well, we have one more sign to learn for school that's really important. So, we have learned so far school, and we've learned class, but now we need to learn the sign for teacher, because the teachers are the ones that are going to be teaching us in our class in school. Okay, so teacher, you're going to need two hands as well, okay? And it's a two-parter. So the first part for teacher, you're going to do this, put them up here, kind of at the top of your eyes, or the top of your glasses if you have glasses. And you're going to go. And then you're going to take your hands and do this. Okay? Let's go over it again a couple times. So we're going to go. And then do it one more time. That's teacher. Teacher. Are you ready to do the sign for teacher with me? Great. Let's do it. Ready? Teacher. Teacher. Okay, so our signs in total are school. Let's do school together. You ready? School. One more time. School. We have class. Let's do class together. Class. One more time. Class. And then we have teacher. 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 Awesome job, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Don't forget, if you ever need a book to help you get through going to preschool or kindergarten or really anything, you can always visit your local public library, like the one here in Jacksonville. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Have fun at school.